Chapter 202. Inside the city combat hall, the bald monk sat cross-legged beneath a shrine, while slowly turning the pages of a worn scripture. The night was peaceful, and the sounds of the city had already faded into the distance. Normally he would have spent the evening preaching to warriors and drunkards about patience, peace, and self-control, but tonight his attention had been stolen by a single piece of information. A young fighter hurried into the hall carrying fresh news. "Master, tomorrow's official duel has already been announced. The entire city is discussing it." The fighter continued. "Young Master Tony Clark of the Clark family will fight Magistrate Peter Jaint in the city arena." The monk's hand stopped moving. His eyes narrowed slightly. "Tony Clark?" The young fighter nodded enthusiastically. "That's right. Apparently he's become extremely famous recently." After the young man left, silence returned to the hall. The monk slowly closed the scripture. Interesting. Very interesting. The dream realm had changed everyone's identities. It had altered faces, families, and backgrounds, yet fate always left traces behind. The monk leaned against the pillar, while recalling a certain academy tournament. He remembered a shameless grin, and a fellow who somehow escaped every serious situation, while making everyone around him angry. If that really is Tony, then heaven is helping me. He still remembered his defeat. He still remembered the humiliation, and he still remembered Tony smiling afterward as though everything had been perfectly normal. The monk slowly stood up. Tomorrow's duel suddenly became extremely important. If that really was Tony Clark, then perhaps I could settle an old score. If it wasn't Tony, at least he would enjoy a good fight. Far beyond the city walls, hidden within a forest valley, the demonic sea tribe leader, Elsa, stood before a campfire, while several tribe members waited silently around her. The young woman looked completely different from her calm self in the academy. Here, surrounded by her people, her eyes carried the confidence and authority of a true hunter. Several corpses lay buried beneath the forest, including human participants, and people unfortunate enough to cross her path. Unlike the others trapped inside the dream realm, Elsa possessed knowledge preserved by the demonic sea tribe for generations. Ancient records spoke of dream realms, soul projections, and methods used to identify outsiders hidden among historical identities. That knowledge had become her greatest weapon. A warrior stepped forward respectfully. "The information has been confirmed. Tony Clark will appear publicly tomorrow." Elsa accepted the report. Finally, the famous academy champion. He became too active and too visible. People born in this world follow predictable habits, but real-world participants stand out because they think differently. The surrounding warriors exchanged smiles. 7 members already stood beside her as loyal hunters, and more would join if she continued succeeding. One young warrior asked, "Should we attack during the duel?" Elsa shook her head. "No." The answer surprised everyone. "We move after the duel." The campfire crackled loudly. Elsa's eyes reflected the flames. If Tony survives long enough to establish influence inside the city, eliminating him during the duel becomes troublesome. "We strike later." The warriors nodded. For them, the decision had already been made. In the middle of the night, completely unaware of the dangers gathering around him, Tony quietly slipped out of his residence. The room assigned to him and Skylar was quiet, as the beautiful bride had already fallen asleep after spending half the evening arguing with him. Tony quietly moved through the corridor until he reached Lily's room. Without hesitation, he pushed it open and stepped inside. To his surprise, Lily wasn't sleeping. She sat beside the window, while moonlight illuminated her face. The moment she saw him enter, she folded her arms. "I knew it." Tony raised an eyebrow. "Knew what?" "That you wouldn't stay in your room." Tony laughed and sat opposite her. "You're making me sound suspicious." "You are suspicious." "Fair enough." Lily poured tea for both of them. For several moments, neither spoke. "Who exactly is this Peter Jaint?" Tony waved his hand dismissively. "Nobody important." Lily immediately frowned. "That's exactly what you say before creating trouble." Tony grinned. "Fine. He sent a challenge, and tomorrow I'll beat him and return before lunch." Lily stared. "You sound absurdly confident." "I spent the entire day reading ancient martial records. Why shouldn't I be confident?" Lily shook her head. "Your arrogance gets worse every year." Tony leaned back comfortably. "My confidence improves every year." "It is the same thing." The conversation gradually shifted toward the dream realm, the academy, and the possibility of finding other familiar faces. Despite the dangers surrounding them, the atmosphere inside the room felt strangely comfortable. Eventually the discussion faded. Silence settled as moonlight entered through the open window. Neither spoke for several moments. Then Tony moved his chair slightly closer. Lily immediately noticed. "What are you doing?" Tony smiled. "Thinking." That answer never ends well. Tony moved slightly closer again. Lily narrowed her eyes. "Tony." Stop." "Stop what?" "The thing you are doing." Tony laughed, as the reaction alone entertained him. Inside the dream realm there were different faces and lived different lives, yet Lily still reacted exactly the same whenever he intentionally teased her. "You know, this situation is quite strange." Lily instantly became suspicious. "Why?" "We are technically living different lives, with different identities and different families." "No, we are not." Tony sighed dramatically. "You never let me finish. Because I know where this conversation is going." Tony grinned. "Lily, I want to do it with you." Lily immediately regretted responding. "No, absolutely not. Think about it. It is not you or me. You are a village girl, and I am the Tony of the ancient world. Let's enjoy this night as if it were a cheat code." Lily looked serious. "Whatever you say, I will not do it." We are still not married, and we both know who we are. Tony yawned loudly with a smirk. It is okay. It seems like I can only sleep with another woman. Tony stood up and walked towards the door. Wait. Tony did not stop. It is your choice. That Skylar girl is always ready to pounce on me. It seems like I need to accept her request. Lily did not know what to do, and Tony was already on his way to leave the room. He opened the door and stepped out. Just then, Lily grabbed his hand and pulled him inside. Before Tony knew what was happening, the door was closed. She hugged him tightly and lifted her head to see his face. Tony gave a sweet smile and leaned forward to kiss her rose-colored lips. As he pressed against her lips, a wide grin appeared on both faces simultaneously. Tony took this chance to kiss her deeply, and she did not show any resistance to his actions. To be continued. Hope you liked today's video. Join the community by subscribing and dropping a like. I'll be back with another update as soon as possible. See you then.